Hello, thank you for the opportunity to do this flash reading for you. When I do a flash reading, I look at the top messages that your toes are sharing at any given time. Remember that the toes can change as our energy changes. And just a quick overview of the toes. The left foot is internal, the right foot is external. So, all the ways that we interact with the outside world and the way that the world sees us, and then our inner dialogue, our inner thoughts, how we take action for ourselves. This is your spirit path toe. This is your life path toe. The other toes are the same for each side. It's just as internal or external. This is communication and expression, action, relationship, and trust and prosperity. The messages that I'm getting the most strongly from your toes are a couple of them. One, because you have this larger protrusion here on the outside of your foot, you have a very global perspective. Some of the major leaders in the world, they actually have this larger protrusion out from the outside of their feet. So this global perspective, it looks a couple of ways. One, a very expanded philosophy, a way of looking at life through an expanded viewpoint and a desire to gather different viewpoints in order to create your own ideas, philosophies, and a flexibility within them. That is a compliment. It's a less common presentation and definitely one that shows up strongly in your toes. A couple of the other messages, you have a larger space between your first and second toes on both feet. This is your channel of leadership. This is your channel of intuition. And so you are absolutely meant to be a leader. You're okay standing on your own. You have this nice straight life path toe with a nail that is straightforward. It's not bending down, it's just straightforward. So you really are okay standing on your own, doing your own thing, and you are an absolute leader. Leaders have to be willing to stand on their own. You absolutely have that. If leadership is not something that you're currently involved in, it is in your makeup. I invite you to really consider how you can step into more of this leadership goal. One of the things that might be holding you back is we see this communication toe. And remember, the right side is external and it's looking here. It's looking towards the center line, looking to the past. Is there something that happened in the past where you either one felt like you could communicate better with more clarity and more power? Or did something happen in the past that shut down your communication a little bit? I'm not seeing so much of a shutdown energy as much as a looking back kind of energy because the toes aren't curled. But there is a slight downward point here, and it's definitely twisted this way. So, one of the things that I would recommend is just gently take that toe and just gently twist it. Remember, all we're doing, this is not about aesthetic. This is about inviting your toes to shift the energy because sometimes we've shifted things in our energy fields, but they're still being stored in the body. And so by adjusting the toes, massaging the toes, and manipulating the toes manually, you can really release these things and bring about positive energy changes. So, again, I reiterate this isn't about how the toes look, this is about the way that the energy is flowing. So, as you gently twist the top of this toe, inviting the energy to flow in a more direct way, in a more clear way, that you are communicating in a more clear, precise, and aligned way. Let's talk about your channel of intuition. You are a highly intuitive person. Trust your gut, trust your instincts. You're usually right on that. Really lean into those intuitive gifts that you have and start to identify what those are. If you're unsure how to do that, go ahead and reach out to me. That is one of the things that I love to do is help people find their spiritual gifts. Now, when we look at this toe is nice and straight. And we also see that the toenail is leaning just a little bit more this way. And so this would be maybe a little adjustment to your spirit path. What does your spiritual path look like right now? And how could it get more aligned? Because when you look at these two toes, this one definitely comes up and leans over. So this is something that's relatively newer in the second half of your life. So however many old years you are, go back half of those years. So something happened about at the halfway point of your life to this current point that changed a little bit in your spirit path. This is not an uncommon presentation, especially for somebody who is as intuitive as you. Having those gifts not be appreciated, not knowing how to hone those gifts, those can all lead to a little bit of a misalignment in the spirit path toe. Just for contrast, look at the second toe on this foot. It is the nail is straighter, it's going more forward, the whole toe is forward. There is a little bit of blocked energy in this toe. So again, I would really focus on massaging those second toes, inviting the energy to move out a little bit. You do have some generational trauma when it comes to spirituality that's showing up down here. Generally speaking, looking at these toes, they are straight, they are uh, they seem like they're flexible, they are well spaced. You are actually very, very healthy according to what your toes are sharing, and there's always things that we can do to tweak to better align and to gain more understanding for ourselves. So I hope you enjoyed this flash toe reading. Reach out to me if you'd like to learn more, especially if you're desiring an astro toe reading, which gives even more information. And you can check that out at Toe Reading Academy on YouTube. Thank you so much for the opportunity.